And we're going live. Going live here. A few minutes late. Whew, it's hot. It is hot here in Texas, where I'm at. I was going to do this chat outside, but it's too damn hot. It's too hot here in Texas. I'm home alone for a good another 45 minutes or so, so I'm going to do a chat here inside the house where I won't get any disturbance. So I'm drinking some Crown Apple with some Sprite, strawberry Sprite or something. It's pretty good. There's no umbrella in this drink, but that Crown is like, it's gonna hit me later. Trust me, guys. It might look colorful, but there's a lot of liquor in that thing. I just need something to wash it down. Wash it down. I'll give it a minute or two, see who shows up on this this chat. In the meantime, I'm gonna kind of browse around and see what news we have today. So if I'm looking down and you comment, I will respond. Just give me a second. And guys, you just don't know. Right now it is 99 degrees here in Central Texas. The last 2 days we've been at a little bit over 100. In my truck, it's been like 109, 111. At one point, 114. It's fucking hot. So we will wait a few minutes, give people time to show up to the party. And when you do show up, just leave a comment. Let me know who's out there, because I have no way at knowing who's out there. So. Sorry, I'm texting somebody. Is it there? All right. Well, I may just start chatting here, man. If nobody shows up, I'm not that popular. Okay, let's see. Let's find some new stuff. We'll see. I know everybody's getting ready for the 4th of July, so sorry for the delay in the chat. We're already 3 minutes in, so let's just start it. So I'm going to go down my news feed. I saw that Inside Freedom. Hello, first person, whoever you are, identify yourself. Bobby Williams. Howdy. How you doing, Bobby? You're my first guest. Your name doesn't look familiar, so if you're new to the channel, welcome. I don't think I've seen your name before, but name is Red October, Texan, native. So I'm just going to randomly start talking about some stuff. If you stick around, Bobby, great. If you don't, you have to run. I appreciate it, man. No problem. You can certainly do what you need to do, man. I'll get a few people here on this thing soon. So just going to go down my feed. Inside Freedom, I saw that he met up with another YouTuber today, which is pretty awesome. I've met 2 other YouTubers, and it's pretty cool when you meet them in person. Kind of like a mini celebrity. It's hard to meet up with folks, but you certainly want to meet up with folks that you trust and that you admire and that you have respect for here. I'm just kind of going down here, road preparedness. She's still making videos about being prepared and being a prepper. Scotty, the Scotsman, scores for the day. I'll have to check out his video. Daniel, God is my judge. I saw your last video on the porch, and You always like to get into character, don't you? Um, Walking Dead, blah blah blah. Kaz or Fourth Dimension, he made a video today, and I kind of wanted to start off with his video, but I wanted a couple people to join the crowd before I get into this. Let me let my dog in the house. I'll be right back. Hang on. I'm drinking a Crown Apple. Ugh. Hang on, fellas. Hang on. Come on. Get in. Okay. Got to wear American shirt. America. I was thinking about this. I was taking my grandfather. I was doing the monthly chore for my grandfather. Uh, for anyone out there that takes care of their parents, once a month that Social Security check comes in, and you got to make that run to the bank. My grandfather's old school, and he still likes the paper in his hand. He still likes to get the cash. He's not down with the down deposit. So doing that monthly chore that I do for my grandfather, luckily I was able to get off work early. The boss let us all go and said, everybody can go home, enjoy your early 4th of July. So I thought I can come home and start drinking, or I can make a stop on the way home to my grandfather's and take care of his bills. So, took him to the bank, took him to the store, separated his bills, this much for that, this much for that, so forth. I'm going to pay some bills online for him. But it's just one of those things. It's just like, I got to do it. I got to do it for him. And as much as I want to hurry up and get home, I got 3 people watch Inside. Hey, Inside, I just made a comment. I was going down the YouTube feeds and I said, I'm going to go down here. So that was cool that you got to meet somebody. Good man, respect, brother. Thank you, Tater Scott. So yeah, doing all that, and it's one of those things that I've done for my grandfather for a while, and I get exhausted just like anyone when you deal with your parents. I love my grandfather. I respect him. With time passing on, me getting older, just like any free time that I have, whether it's to build a project, come home, spend some time with my wife, just relax and do nothing, or run some errands or fix something here around the house. I just get exhausted, and I kind of feel a little selfish with my time. But I've given a lot of my years to my grandfather too, and rightfully so. He's raised me. So, but my topic that I wanted to bring up, and I got about 4 people on here now. So most of you know me, right? Red October, I've been here for years, quite a bit. I run in the same crowd. I'm not a gun channel. I do shoot guns. I do believe in the Second Amendment. I'm a well-rounded kind of person. I'm in my mid 40s, early 40s. Um, I've experienced a lot in life. I don't know it all. I'm still trying to seek knowledge and truth. And I think I'm at a humble stage in my life right now. I'm just kind of just trying to just be humble, right? I've already raised my kids. My youngest is 19. My oldest step kid is 30, 31. And I've done that part. As that chapter of my parent of being a parent is past. Now I got grandbabies on the way. I got one born in May, another one next month. But anyway, back to the story. So I took my grandfather. My grandfather still lives in the same house that they bought way before I was born. The house is paid for. It's a house neighborhood I grew up in. That neighborhood has changed, and this is where this thought's coming from. Here in a second. Sorry, don't mean to be long-winded, and I promise this will only be like 30 minutes because my wife will be coming home. So I'm gonna try to wrap it up. So so I'm back at the old neighborhood, taking my grandfather to a local HEB store. HEBs are big in Texas. You need time for your own life too, bro. Always good. Be humble. Thank you, Tater Scott. Um, and you're right, and I've learned that. I'm gonna jump back and forth here, but a good friend of mine said that he's living his life, so you have to live your life. And a lot of times, I was trying to revolve my life around his and get him to live my part of my life. Come with us. He won't. He's just stuck in the house. So uh, I can accept it. I'm fine with that. Um, but the thing is that so I go back. I take him to the local HEB store in his own in my old neighborhood, and it's a different environment, different people. As you can tell, I'm brown skinned. I am American. I'm a native Texan, born and raised. As you can see, I'm proud to be an American. Proud. I'm Hispanic, Latino, if you want to call that, but I consider myself to be a Texan. First come, first serve. My race is Latin or Latino. Um, but the dynamics or the community that's there now is not the community that I grew up. I grew up in middle class America. Uh, our neighborhood was mostly diverse with Hispanics, Latinos, and whites. That was it. Maybe had one black family on the block. Still, the area was pretty much cultured of white Americans, and that's what I grew up around. And not to be stuck up or stuck nosed that I can't hang around the projects or like I've been to the bad neighborhoods. I have that family that live in the projects. Um, that's another story. But the community that I went to, the store. It's mostly descendants of Mexicans, Mexican, if you want to call them Mexican American, Mexican immigrants. But the culture has changed. It's no longer the culture that. So when I go there, I almost feel like I'm a foreigner. I feel like people look at me because they know that I'm not Mexican. I'm not from Mexico. If you've ever gone to another community, another state, city, you can tell the difference. People know if you're from there or not. I know when people come here to Texas or Central Texas, where I'm at, I know they're not from here. I can just tell. And most of the time, they're from Chicago, LA, Washington, Florida, Louisiana, Alabama, Georgia. All of them are just migrating here. That's fine. But for the most part, that concept for me is like those are Americans coming here. But when you have foreigners that come into a place that they change the whole landscape, they change the whole dynamics, the culture, then it almost feels like you get weeded out, like you're no, this is not your neighborhood anymore, right? It once was. And Kaz made an interesting, the fourth dimension made an interesting comment. Let me go feed my dog. Hang on, guys. Give me 30 seconds. I'll be right back. Hold on. Oh. Hang on, guys. If I don't give her some water, she won't stop kicking the bucket, and then it annoys me. Bear with me. Okay. My wife has a Pekingese Pickadoodle dog, 13 years old. She's blind, diabetic, and she's on her last leg. So, um, yeah, we're just we're keeping her through the motions, keeping her comfortable. You get it. So, but the whole dynamic. So back to Kaz. Kaz made a comment. He said, I live in a dominantly, uh, I guess, middle class white American community, and I like that. He said I like that. I want to be in an environment like that, and I get it. I totally get it. Birds flock together, right? And so I want to pose the question. The question is, it's not racist. It's just a question. It's a thought. But the question is it wrong to want to be within your own community? Is it wrong for white people to want to be with white people, Hispanics to be with Hispanics, Asians to be with Asians, Middle Easterns to be with Middle Easterns? And the answer that I think that's in my head is no. There's nothing wrong with that. And the reason is because well, there's so many angles to this without being racist about it. I come from a mixture of family, blacks, Hispanics, whites. My family, my immediate family, my kids, they're all mixed. I have kids and then I have stepkids. So racial thing is not even in my vocabulary. If I'm coming off that way, I don't mean to. Um, I don't have any prejudice against any other. Not wrong at all. We are still Americans, right? We're still Americans, but I think about it's nice to feel like when you go back home that this is my home, right? This is the people that I grew up around with. This is the people that I was with. You're familiar with home. But when you go back home and that home is the landscape has changed, the culture has changed, another culture has dominated my culture, and I'll be more of the sense of middle class uh, Americans. And now it's a lot of foreigners, it's a lot of immigrants, it's a lot of um, it's just different. And if I'm not sure how to explain it without sounding racist, but um, and there's nothing wrong. America's a melting pot, and but is it wrong to want to be in your own community? And I say no. I get it. I get when you know our society is an immigrant of cultures mixed together, right? And I'm going to get back to that breeding in just a second. No, there's nothing wrong with integrating cultures and races and so forth. That's what makes America unique. That's what makes America beautiful. But I think in some transition, 30, 50 years from now, could be longer, could be sooner than that. But I'm going to guess 30 to 50 years that if we keep going down the course of integrating and not keeping some purity to our cultures, that we're going to lose that. We're going to lose that that authenticity, or that, I'm not sure if I'm saying the right word, but we're going to lose that that 100% white person, that 100% Hispanic, that 100%. I like to go to other areas and see other cultures and say, oh, that's cool. I like for people to keep their culture, their history intact. It's gonna happen. A white person is gonna give a black person. A black person is gonna give a Hispanic person, and so forth. It's gonna happen. No one's gonna stop that. But I hope that down the line that we do keep some stability so that we don't lose that, because the more that we integrate, I mean, how many people do you meet nowadays where they say, oh, I'm half black, I'm half Hispanic, I'm white, I'm black, I'm Hispanic, I'm Asian, I'm Native American and African, or whatever. That you no longer have that purity. On the outside, somebody may see me that doesn't know me, and I don't say anything. They're like, look at that Mexican over there. I'm not Mexican. And once you hear the way I'm speaking, you're like, oh, he's American. Uh, Trust me, I would stand out like a white person if I went to Mexico. 100%. They'd be like, that fool's not for me. um, and I think about that, how people are, and wanting to keep some separation. And if you think about it, think about tribal times when there's Navajos and Cherokees and Apaches and all this. These native tribes, that was their group, and they identified so that when they met other people, they're like, oh, that's a so and so, that's so and so, and you kept that identity. Now, we live in America where everything is like, there's no more gentrification. Everybody, you're just a it. You're it. You're not a man. You're not a woman. You're not a he, she. You're not a fishi, rashishi, whatever. You're just it. You're a person, right? And we're going to lose that. We're going to lose that identity. And I don't think it's a bad thing. Here's another analogy that I want to throw out there. You think about people in our 40s. I'm 43. My generation and older grew up without cell phones, computers, laptops, um, social media. We only knew what happened in our hood, in our neighborhood. I knew what happened down the street. I knew maybe what happened a block over, maybe 2 to 3 blocks if you had your ear to the ground. But back then, we just knew the only news we knew was in our neighborhood, because that's all that mattered. What's in front of me, not, oh, that's happening in the south side or the north side, east side. We didn't care about that, right? And young gun. Let me read some comments here. I agree, Bobby. I agree. And but that's the at some point I think we're going to get away from identification of man, woman. You know, if we don't watch the direction we're going, everything is like let's just free, no walls, no borders, Antifa. You're not a man, you're not a woman, you're just a nit. You're a he, she. That if we don't, so back to the people that grew up without those things. We knew. I think the world that what I'm trying to get at is the world that we live in now. The young millenniums. I can never say that right. The Antifas, all those young kids. That generation, this is all they know. This is the world that they know. So moving forward, they're going to totally lose that generation that we had of he. That's a he. That's a she. You're white. You're black. You're brown. It's just going to be your person. You're American. You're a number. You're 456. You're 231. We're going to lose that identification, and I think that part is sad. So I hope I made sense on all that. I hope that I wasn't rambling too much. Let's get some questions in. I got about six people, unless this thing is just slow and it's more. Anything, y'all do anything for 4th of July? Post it on the comment there. I'll read it, or y'all can read it among yourselves. Um, I'm gonna pour a little bit more Crown in here. I'll be right back. Ask the question. Cue the intro. Cue the intro. Oh. All right, what do we got? Oh, hello. All right, so what? Oh, I lost the comment. I don't know where that. Let's see. Not wrong. Is that the wrong inside? All right. At some point, we all have to understand and embrace our roots, but never at the cost of losing that which unites us. Correct. What are you drinking? I'm drinking. Well, the liquor is Apple Crown or Crown Apple. Move you to the little. I bought a medium-sized bottle, but I should have just bought the damn big size. So Crown Apple. It's about a bottle like that. I'm gonna have to go by the liquor store tonight so I can get some more. And I discovered if you go to Sonic and get their strawberry limeade with Crown Apple, I don't know. It's really good. It's not too fruity. It's not too bland. It's like just perfect. It's not sweet or nothing. It's just like man, that's pretty good. So it's a good little mixture. And then just add the liquor you want. I mean, this shit's strong. I made a glass. I made a glass like this last night. My wife was like, "Oof." She's like, "I just taste the liquor in that thing." So, if you want to taste more of the drink, put less of liquor, obviously. But it's pretty good. I'm not into fruity drinks, but I like that. I like mixed fruit. I'm not into like hard whiskey on the rocks and shit. I can't do that, man. I have an uncle that drinks like everything, black velvet. It doesn't matter what it is. He puts in the glass with ice, lets it sit there, marinate for a little bit, and then he just sips on that thing, and then he just pours it in the glass. I'm like, no, I want to live a little. I want to taste a little. Let's see what's it. We need to keep an eye on the south of the border. Mexico's going to elect communists. Yeah, we do. And I always look. I always use logic, right? And I told my wife this. I said, look, honey. I said the thing is, because Texas and then Mexico's right there, right? Mexico's on our border, and Arizona and California. But there's a big connection with Texas. And I said, I get it. Our roots, our ancestors probably came from Mexico, right? Generations down the line came from Mexico. And everybody should be given an opportunity to come to this country for better life, better education, better way of living, and have the freedoms that really the rest of the world wants. That's why everybody comes here. They want our freedoms. They want not so much, I wouldn't say take our freedoms, but they want the freedoms that we have. And remind me if somebody can touch on, I want to touch on a subject with the United States flag, Mexico flag, and back country prepper. I always want to say black country prepper. I don't know why. Back country prepper. Remind me here in a few minutes because I'll forget. But so I told my wife, I said, look, honey, I said, okay, let's say that I agree. I think we should just allow people to come into this country from Mexico. From Mexico. And I said, but keep in mind, to be fair, if you're going to do that for one group of people, you have to do it for everybody else. And you see how the dynamic changes when people are like, they associate, oh, well, these people are our descendants, so they can come. Okay, fine. But then what about Russians, the Middle Easterns, the Asians? All right. If you're going to do it for one culture, you have to do it for everybody else. That's not fair. And then she kind of got quiet and was like, okay. And she thought about it. I was like, I don't disagree with you. I think we should allow people the opportunity, but let's do it the right way. Let's have them come into the country and go through the process. And the process is long, but that's the cost of coming here, right? That's the cost of saying, hey, I'm willing to go to America. If I'm going to cross the border, there's a chance I'm going to get arrested. I'm going to get separated from my kids or family members. Some of us might not make it. We'll probably get deported back if we're lucky. And if we're lucky, we'll make it through untouched. We'll cross the border. We'll get there, and then we have to find jobs. And the truth is, a lot of immigrants, not just Mexicans, but a lot of immigrants do the lower end type of jobs. And so you have a lot of people in business that will go hire immigrants and say, "Hey, I can pay you not pennies on the dollars, but I can pay you low minimum wage to work outside." Versus getting somebody that's here in America, they're like, hell no, I want 12, $15, $20 an hour to work out in the sun and pick lettuce and cotton and all kind of shit. Um, they'll never make any money. So they welcome the immigrants, but at the same time, it's a tit for tap. It's a double-edged sword. You need immigrants because they're the foundation of hard labor. I'm not saying Americans are not, but a lot of the grunt work, most Americans honestly don't want to do that type of work. So that's where the immigrants come into play. And people are like, well, I'm for regulations, but if it's going to hurt my business, then I'm just going to try to get away with it and keep hiring these people. And that's like, we have to come up with a better system. And maybe that's something that Trump can work with on the Mexican president and say, look, you need to try to keep some of your people over there. And if you're not going to keep them, then we need you. We need you to help us enforce them coming over. And they're going to have to go through a process because the truth is, a lot of them come over here, work, and they send those U.S. dollars back to Mexico. If I saw something on Vice or one of those type of network shows where a lot of the students that live right on the border of Mexico cross over daily to one of those little small towns in El Paso around there, go to school, and then they go back home. And they do that daily. And I don't know how that is or why that works or whatever. And I get it. I think one of the principals or superintendents said, these are going to be future people that come to America. So you might as well educate them now. So I get that concept. But at the cost of US dollars, taxpayers' dollars, we're the ones paying for that. So if we're going to gain benefit from immigrants and we want to invest into them, which I'm okay with, there has to be some step process. There has to be some. If we're going to fund you up front, educate you, supply you, whatever, give you benefits, then on the back end, we need you to go through this process. You're going to have to go through this. There's no more of this. You get this for free, and then you don't do anything for us. That's not going to work. Cheers, Tater. Yeah, I like my whiskey neat. I can respect that, Bobby. When you I know it's a touchy subject. it's a complicated subject because there's so many variations to that. One of the things that Backcountry Prepper mentioned was he said, that he was driving down the highway and saw a vehicle flying a Mexico flag, and he goes, "How can you do that? I mean, that's disrespectful for this country and blah blah blah." And I agree. I agree with you. And his question was, how can they get away with that? How can they do that? If you go to Mexico and fly the United States flag like that, your ass gets arrested. Now I don't know if that's true. That's what he said. If he said something along those lines, I'm pretty sure it was that. But to answer your question is, and this is the unique thing, is that we Americans have these rights, right, under the Constitution and the Bill of Rights and all this other stuff. We have these rights. We have these privileges as Americans, as citizens, that we can go through due process. We have the First Amendment, Second Amendment, so forth. You have people that come to this country that are not legal citizens or immigrants, foreigners, trespassers, whatever you want to call them. They get the same protections we do. Unfortunately, it's not like this is our home. We get to do this kind of stuff. We get to play around and go shoot guns and be Americans, but you guys are just visitors. That's like them starting on the sideline, like watching the game, like I want to play, 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 I want to do that, I want to do that. They know they have those privileges, and some of them have those rights, and it's like, what can you do? How do you enforce it? It's like, they're actually allowed the same rights as you are, even though they're not legal citizens. They're here legally. I mean, what's the worst that's going to happen? They're going to get pulled over. If they don't have a driver's license, which they should, they're going to get a ticket for that. They're not going to. The cop is not going to cite them for, okay, you got a Mexican flag, African flag. They're like, the cops like, I don't give a fuck. I don't care. I mean, maybe you find one deep-hearted, rooted American, be like, that's America. That disrespects us. Most cops are just like, I got bigger shit to deal with. I mean, I have a job, I have these reports, I got to do this, I got to patrol. That's probably the least of their worries. So to enforce that, to go through the court systems, it's just a lot of hassle, red tape, taxpayer dollars to give this guy a ticket that says, you know what, you're going to go to jail. Thing is, you arrest people, you put them in jail, you got to feed them, you got to house them, you got to clothe them, you got to provide basic living conditions. I mean, this country's a mess. This country is so, we've taken on too much, is what I'll say in short. From immigrants to people going to jail to be lenient on the system, it's a revolving door. People that go into jail get out. They can't function in society. They do better in prison. They do something and get caught and they go back. It's just a cycle. Checking the timer. Thanks for sticking around, guys. I know some of you are building out already on me. Let me pour a little bit more. Hang on. Hang on, guys. Hang on. All right. All right. A few more minutes. What do y'all want to talk about? Anything you want to ask me? Shoot away. You got any? What are you doing for 4th of July? You got plans? Anything? Holla at me. Don't be shy. I will try to answer your question, as long as you're not asking me personal information. Let me check something here real quick. Hang on, guys. I'm just responding. Let's see what you got with you, buddy. But yeah, I guess it's slowing down, man. Let's see. You have a lot of feral hogs and unit. No, 88. I live in a more civilized society here in Texas. I live in Central Texas, as much as I was telling you anyone. People that I think one of the YouTube channels, I'm going to refer you over to Uncle Dan. I don't know if you know who he is, but Uncle Dan, He lives like in outside. I want to say probably eastern part of Texas, somewhere between the major population cities. I'd probably say between Austin and Houston. He lives in the outskirts, still maybe a little bit north of that. There's a lot of feral hogs over there. There are hogs outside of the central Texas area, but nowhere near me. I'm too close to the city. I'd have to probably go about 30 miles north, or at least maybe 40 miles south before I see any hogs. And even then, you have to have private property to shoot those hogs on. So I live too close to high society and you know millenniums to see any hogs. But I mean, your basic like skunks, raccoons, stuff like that. I mean, I can see those from pretty much close to where I'm at. Not country, but I mean, they're still in this area. Mm, Fishing scene. Well, there's a few lakes around here. I would say the fishing scene's more like in the Galveston, Corpus Christi, South Padre Island area. I don't live on the East Coast. That'd be more like Houston area. Uh, we have lakes around here. There's about three or four medium to large size lakes. I don't go fishing. I have my new son-in-law. Um, he likes to fish. He's ex-military. Um, yeah, he loves. You know, we're true fishermen when they have the fishing rods in the back of the truck and they drive everywhere with them. I'm like, take those damn things out. He's like, oh man, I must stop somewhere and get me some do some fishing and shit. That's a true fisherman. But I probably need to get into it. It seems very relaxing. A lot of people just enjoy it. It's peaceful. It's like you just never know what you're gonna get, right? Like a box of chocolate. You never know what you're gonna get. But we are gonna. I will tell you this: in about 2 weeks or so, we are going to the coast. Me, my wife, my new son-in-law, um, and my daughter. Two of my daughters are going to go. The one that's married to my son-in-law, and then my other daughter. So we're going to go down the coast. I'll take some pictures down there, some video and stuff, so you can see the coastline. And we're actually going to do some fishing because he wants to go. He's like, "Bring your fishing pole." I was like, "I ain't got a fishing pole." I was like, "I'll either have to go buy one or borrow one or something." But who knows? This may be the start of fishing life for me. So, mm, what else? What else, guys? Y'all gonna pop fireworks? Anyone gonna do any fireworks or anything like that? I don't know if you can do them in your area. We have a dry band um, in this area. We have that every year. I mean, it's Texas. It's hot as hell over here. Everything's gonna be dried up, of course. You know, it's like don't pop fireworks. I remember the days. I remember the days when I was a kid, and where I live now really was considered the country. It's been city populated already. It's getting there. But back in the day, man, we used to have firecracker wars. I don't know if y'all had those as kids, but we'd get a bunch of my cousins would get together and we would divide it up. You know, we picked captains. It was usually like the two oldest and two coolest cousins had teams. And then they were just like, I'll take so and so, I'll take this person, I'll take Red October. Come on. It wasn't Red October back in the day, but yeah, man, and I lit one of my cousins up with uh, what was it? I had a it was a square type of box and had 25 missiles in there. They just I shot that damn thing. I was like chasing him, and they were just going all over the place. I popped them a few times with the Roman candle, and those were really good times. I mean, you think nowadays it'd be like, oh no, safety, you got to wear goggles and hats. Man, we did not. You just bundled up. You just wore long sleeve shirts, a hat, and you just hope that if that shit came your way, you ducked your head and let it hit your cap or something. But yeah, we had good times back then, man. I mean, that was being a kid, you know. What's up, Red? What's up, Fox? Mm, you've missed the chat, Fox. We were talking about everything. Yeah, so 4th of July, going to go over to one of my niece's house, family get together, pool party. We can pop fireworks out there. I really don't spend money on fireworks. It's just too goddamn expensive. And, I'll buy a few, and I say a few, and I just kind of pop those off and watch the kids play. And, I just sit back and have my drink and just relax. But, yeah, ready for another 4th of July. You guys be safe out there, man. Don't drink and drive. If you're gonna drink, stay your ass where you're at. Um, call Uber, call taxi, something. But I went and bought a pole for my flag that I bought. I actually have about 3 wood flags in the backyard, in the back patio that I've made because I make a patio like the Texas flag, American flag, and I have them hanging up. And then I got a regular flag just hanging upside down. And you know what throws me off is how they say if you're going to hang the flag on the wall, normally how you hang it across, the stars are here and the stripes. In my mind, I'm thinking hang it downwards, right? So you still see the stars. To me, it's like you're moving it just like this, but really you're supposed to flip it around and have the stars on this side. It just looks awkward to me. I don't know why. And I always like to do it the other way. In my mind, it's the right way. But I'm actually hanging it the right way right now outside. The stars are here. I guess on this side would be here on the side. So kind of like, I guess like this, maybe backwards. Anyway, it's hanging up right now. But I bought a little pole thing for it so I can mount it on the wood part outside front. So I need to do that later today so I can have it hanging for tomorrow. So I can be a patriotic American. But anyway. Well, guys, I'm winding down here. Do y'all have anything else you want to say, talk about? Appreciate you hanging out with Red. I don't do these chats too much, but I just felt like doing one because I was like, I'm home early. When my wife gets here, we're going to go swimming. We're going to go to a water park, and then we're going to go do some stores. But I'm going to tell her to drive because I've been drinking, and then I'll drive later, but she can drive over there. We'll check out a water park, and it's a small one. It's not too big, but um, yeah, just have some fun. Gonna get up tomorrow, take my time, enjoy just little things in life, and celebrate another year. So I guess I'll end this, guys. You want to say your farewell, goodbye, Red, from the comments? Feel free. I'll give you a minute or two, and then I'm gonna hang it up here and close it out and get ready and just finish my drink here. Save the rest of my bottle for tomorrow. So and God bless America, man. God bless us Americans. And I don't know where this country's headed. I was listening to Rush Limbaugh real quick before you go. Listen to Rush Limbaugh, and he was saying, when was it when was it when was it wrong to stop being an American? When was it wrong for America to stop being America? Like we've gotten so far away from what America stands for: liberty, truth, justice for all, the American way. To everybody wants to come here and make it their way. They want to make it their America. And what they fail to realize is they want all of our freedoms that we have now, but they want to bring their home lifestyle here and say, let's live like that, but let's have the freedoms here. It's like it doesn't work like that. You have to adapt to American life if you want to be an American. If you want to live in America, you have to adapt to the American life. That should be the way it is. Um, it doesn't mean you can't believe in what you believe in, but do it in your little corner. Do it in your little. But when you step out of that corner in the rest of the world, be an American. Talk American. Be American. Act American. Be proud to be an American. Fly a flag. If you're from the Middle East, Asian, Mexico, whatever, be an American. How hard is that? Love this country. I mean, man, it frustrates me. People come here and they want the American life, but they don't want to pay tribute to the American flag, and that just kills me. No time to be sorrow, man. Cheers, America. I got to run. Y'all have a blessed day, and Red October is out.